it's Scott from Family Wheels, and it's my pleasure to introduce you to my friend, Kiah.
Hello.
Kiah and I have been friends for years, and we've worked on various other projects together and stuff, and things are getting pretty busy with Family Wheels, so I'm really excited to say that he is going to be joining the team, and you're going to see him doing some reviews and helping out with the channel a lot moving forward. So, man, thanks for helping out, and welcome to the team.
Quite happy to, and I'm pretty excited because this is the Volvo S60 R-Design. There's 3 different trim levels on this car, and this one sits about in the middle, which is the sport version, and it sits kind of perfectly between a luxury sedan and a sports sedan. But as always, the question is this the right car for you and your growing family? Let's find out. It's the Volvo S60 R-Design this week on Family Wheels.
Let's go. Okay, so it's a bright day here in Vancouver, so don't mind us wearing sunglasses from time to time, just so we don't crash driving into the sun. But, like, what do you think?
I love it, actually. This one kind of, the R-Design especially, sits right between luxury sedan and sports car. I feel like it definitely, like, it's absolutely beautiful interior of the Volvos. I know you did the XC90 the other week, and
loved
you absolutely loved it. And I think it's the same thing, like the attention to detail, the sound system, the Bowers & Wilkins sound system is amazing.
Yeah, they do it really well, fit and finish. I think the thing that I like the most about Volvo is to me, the brand sits kind of apart from like BMW and Mercedes in terms of the luxury sort of tier, but obviously it's like nicer and like higher end than your typical like Honda, Toyota, Ford, and General Motors. So I feel like it's at least here in Vancouver, way less people have Volvos than have BMWs.
Oh, absolutely. But I think that, especially with the new range that they're doing at the moment, they have to be making inroads on that, especially with this car, which is competing with the BMW 3 Series, the Audi A4, the Mercedes C-Class. But this one is starting at $42,400.
Which is pretty great.
Not too bad. Now, there's the engine options. You've got the T5, which is a turbocharged 2-litre engine.
Okay.
You've got the T6, which is in this one, all-wheel drive. The T5 is the front wheel, it comes with front-wheel drive. This has got turbocharged and supercharged 300 horsepower. Now, the thing I found with the R-Design, which if you want a real sports car, a sports sedan you might not love as much, being the 4-cylinder, I didn't find it had like some good bottom end when you really, really needed it, and the sound wasn't quite what you'd want it to be for a sports sedan either. For sure.
Like, I compare any sports sedan that we test, I end up comparing it to that Genesis G70 that was on the channel a few months ago, and this guy, like, in around the same sort of ballpark financially. I mean, that car just, you know, in the like upper 380-ish kind of horsepower range, but you know, the name Genesis is not what Volvo is yet either, so you get the bit of the trade-off there. So we got 316
horsepower, and
all-wheel drive.
All-wheel drive. On the other hand, maybe the drawback for if you want this to be a family luxury sedan, it does, you know, these seats are wonderful and really comfy. They're not exactly, you know, very soft and rounded as well, but it also, I found that if you're getting in and out all the time and everything with kids, it's really low.
Right.
Getting out of this thing, if you're getting in and out all the time, you got kids, that might be something that you're always grabbing the door frame to get out and everything.
And like to get stuff in, bending over to like undo the car seat and that type of thing.
I had it set to what I loved as a driving position, which was very sports-like.
I like it low.
Yeah, and trying to get out, I was kind of like, oh man, this could be annoying. But the driving position, the 12.3-inch digital dash is absolutely wonderful. It's got plenty of tech on there, but not too much to be overwhelming.
Right.
And then, of course, as you raved about with the XC90, the infotainment system, the sensor system is wonderful. I liked it.
It's almost like, so one thing that they have different here, it's like the screen is vertical, like an iPad, and essentially you have these 3 screens that you swipe back and forth between, but the home screen, like, it's really not flashy.
No,
you know,
it's not
you just kind of have these, it just gives you your, like, your destination, what your phone is doing, and your climate. And
climate is really quick to do as well. I thought that might be annoying, but it's actually pretty easy.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that these 2 Volvos that we've tested, that the infotainment system does so well, is the response time. And it might seem like a little thing, but for me, response time, like if I push a button and it takes a second and then I push the button again because it's thinking about what to do, now it's just over.
You're done.
Like I'm so frustrated by that. So that is spectacular in the Volvos with this new infotainment system, the response time, and I found that there was no issues with Bluetooth connectivity either.
Nope.
Like you want it, as soon as you get in, it connects, which is also great because nothing more frustrating than getting in and your phone doesn't connect, even though you've already connected it a bunch of times. Really clean dash too.
I loved the dash. I didn't change where the navigation which is on there. Like, I don't know why they're even putting navigation systems in cars anymore. Just if you've got Apple CarPlay or Android Auto.
I think that's where navigation is going to end up going in all of these cars. They're just going to take it out and just expect people to use Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. How do you feel about like this sort of storage compartment here? Because I'll be honest, I'm not the hugest fan of it.
At first I felt very closed in and like almost if you're in the driver's seat, you're stuck in there. You're not getting anywhere else. Like you reach over, but then I kind of grew to quite like it. I liked that I had my separate compartment, plenty of space to, if you've got a family, put squeezy packs and have goldfish crackers in the bottom and everything. But I didn't mind it. At first I found it a bit constrictive, but I thought it was okay.
I just like a big, sort of a big open space at the front here. We have this little space under but like, so say you've got, a couple of drinks in here, then where do you put your phone? It's just kind of like set in amongst those things.
I'm trying to put my phone here at the moment. It's really no sort of designated spot.
Yeah, and I mean, we have decent storage under here, and this is where the USB connection is as well. But again, it's not huge, and I kind of like having USB connection that's not necessarily in here. You can just connect it, and you don't have to have like a cable running. Right, exactly. It's nice to be able to hide it away, but it would be nice. I always like the cars that have the USB connection up front, so you don't have to have a cord running all the way through. And another little quirky thing that I found about these last two Volvos is the start button, and it seems like it's not a big deal, but it is kind of cool. I like it how, as opposed to it being a button that you hit, it's this knob that you turn. And then of course below that we have the drive mode selector, which again, for a sports sedan, I found that a lot of the other sports sedan type of vehicles that we've tested, when you put it into its quote-unquote sport mode, you kind of get a change in the dash. Things kind of pop and you get these sort of red illuminations and stuff. It's way less pronounced in the Volvos, which is just, I didn't
notice any of that. Let's try it now.
Okay, so put it in individual or
dynamic high performance.
And nothing changes, And again, it's not a big deal as long as the car, the way it drives actually changes. But it is nice, on a BMW when you put it into M, everything changes, or in a Genesis when you move it, everything changes. And it's just kind of like I guess like an impressions thing, but I don't know. I thought there's room for a little bit more flash there, but I know that's not Volvo's thing anyway.
Driving modes, I found when you did put it up to dynamic high performance, you definitely feel things stiffen up. It's got the adaptive dampeners, and you definitely feel it'll hold the gears in the revs as well. If you just sort of, it won't just gear down sort of if you're just coasting a little bit. It'll hold it in gear, hold your RPM up a little bit, and expect you to attack it a little bit more. And then of course, if you want a bit more of a more comfortable ride, you popped it into comfort everyday use. There's also eco-efficient drive as well, which I never used.
No, we call that boring mode.
So in terms of fuel economy, I've been using it just in the city, and what am I at, 11.8?
11.8 liters for 100 kilometers.
Which is not fantastic, but I've also not been very easy on it.
I mean, you kind of have to take that into consideration. We get these cars for a week, and you want to see what they can do. So obviously you can get those numbers down a little bit if you were trying to drive it a little nicer and hypermile it, but what's the fun in that? Also, I love that it's all-wheel drive because, if you want to huck it in the corners, it holds. But I also, like, being a dad, and you're a dad too, like, I don't think that I would own a car now that isn't all-wheel drive.
Yeah, okay.
Especially with, like, where we live here, the climate, we get a lot of rain and stuff, and we have gotten snow the last few years. My family likes to go up to the mountains all the time, that type of thing. And it's nice to be able to rip up to Whistler and know that you have all-wheel drive underneath you when you got the kids in the back and stuff.
In terms of the standardized testing for the trunk space, the cargo space, it passed that. It was reasonably, it wasn't loads of space left over, but we had the full-size stroller in there, 2 shopping bags, the camera bag, the diaper bag, soccer ball, no problems whatsoever.
So definitely doable as a daily driver.
For sure.
Definitely doable. I think one of the main takeaways from it, it feels sporty, you know, with the low down seat and stuff. So I don't know, like all in all, what do you think? Would you own it?
Yes, it's absolutely beautiful. I feel like if you're going for a sports sedan, it doesn't quite have enough.
Right.
If you're going for a luxury sedan, it kind of is a little bit too low and a little bit too sporty. Do you know what I mean? It sits in the middle nicely, but if it had a little bit more in the engine department, it was maybe a 6-cylinder or something, then I'd probably be an absolute yes. But is it a wonderful car? Yes. Is it top quality? Is it comfortable? Is it luxurious? Sure. It's all of those boxes, and it's big enough for a family as well.
Right, and like we know that in certain markets, Volvo are putting this car out with the T8.
Yes.
Right, which we're talking like 400 horse.
415 horsepower.
Drive.
So like, it's turbocharged, it's supercharged, and it's also electric as well. They've got an electric motor which sits in the back and gives you another bump as well, up to a total of 415 horsepower. But that's sort of direct with Volvo, and it's subscription based.
Like, but give us that.
Yeah.
You know, give us that here in Canada. And this is one of the frustrating things we see with all the car companies. Certain markets are giving you certain vehicles, like we see it all the time. The European market, where we know we have viewers, gets cars that we don't necessarily get. So all of our reviews are based on the Canadian model here. But we know, Volvo, that you can do it. We know that we can get the T8 in this car. So give us that, and like, then yeah, absolutely. Like, so the things that, like you said, the fit and finish off the top, outstanding. And like, I'm really growing to like the brand, especially because in a market like where we are here in Vancouver, nobody has Volvo. You know, you see the odd one and stuff, but here everybody and their dog's driving a BMW, you know?
Very
so
true.
it's nice to have something a little bit different. I like the way that it looks. We didn't talk about that. How do you feel like it looks?
That actually ties into, if you were looking for a sports sedan, I don't think it looks sporty enough from the outside.
Really?
Like, when you're sitting in here, I don't feel like the exterior reflects what you're feeling on the interior.
Okay.
This is a sporty interior, I feel like, even though with the dashes we're talking about, it doesn't change like an M car would.
But you do get like the R-Design logo in the steering wheel here, and a few other sort of
the seats are outstanding.
Absolutely. That's funny because from the outside, like, I think that car looks awesome.
It looks great.
I probably wouldn't choose this color. I'd probably go with black, but it's like this subtle sort of sport to me. I like that there's no kind of like big R badging and stuff like
Sleeper
we see on
cell.
certain cars. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I don't know. It definitely like we call it the look back test. It definitely passes that for me. But yeah, I think that there's a lot of options, you know, in this like sports sedan area. I think that, like you say, you know, give us another 50-ish horse, a little more kick, and it would definitely be a contender for me.
Especially with the price point. And by the way, that T8 with the electric, like, that starts at more than double of the base.
So there's another factor.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the Volvo S60 R-Design on Family Wheels. If you liked it, please give it a like, maybe do a comment, make sure you check out some of our other reviews, and also subscribe to the channel.
See you next week.
Bye-bye.